Hey everybody, we are going to go over how you submit your assignments in this class. Now this is going to be a particular way of doing it that I want you to follow throughout the semester for all of our assignments. And this is going to seem like it's a little finicky, but ultimately this is going to do two things. It's going to keep the file sizes low so that you can turn them in and I can download them effectively. And then it's also going to help keep things labeled properly and sorted properly so that you don't lose things on your end, I don't lose things on my end, and everybody is happy. So to start off with, just to let you all know, I'm working on Windows 10 on a PC. Now you very well be working on a Mac at home or in the Mac lab on campus. If that's the case, things might look a little different and the names of things you click on might be a little different. But for the most part, things are going to be in roughly the same spot and the actions are going to be roughly the same. And if you're confused at all by it, please let me know. But for the most part, I think this will work just fine. So we have our desktop here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go New. And I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to name that folder my last name. And then an underscore and the name of the assignment. So my last name is Riley. The name of the first assignment is anything. And so that's the name of the folder. As we change assignments, you can change this word to be politics or sports or day in the life or whatever it is you want to name it. So we'll click away and we'll open up our folder here. So this is our overarching folder. Now within this folder, we're going to make three other separate folders. So I'm going to right click, going to pick New, going to make a folder. And we're going to call this one 20. Then we're going to repeat the process. Right click, New, folder, and we're going to make this one 10. Then we're going to right click, New, and we're going to make the final folder. And we'll call this one 5. Now as you guessed, probably, these are the three components of your photo story. You're turning in a photo story that is the 20 photographs that work together to make your story. And from those 20, you'll also be whittling it down, carving it down to be 10 photographs. That will be this folder. That's going to be your 10 best photos. And then from that 10, you're going to be carving it down even further to the 5 that work the best. And that'll be in this folder. So 20, 10, and 5, and they all build off of each other. But this whole process is going to be made a lot easier if we have two different windows we're looking at here instead of just one. So I'm going to go File, Open New Window, and it's going to open up a duplicate. I'm going to move one to the left here, move one to the right. This will be very convenient for how we're going to approach the second part of this. So first of all, I'm going to work on the left here and move to the right. I'm going to open up the 20 on this side. Now, just as a heads up, I've already selected the 20 photographs I want to use in this example. And I've already copied them onto my clipboard so that when I paste, they will paste into here. This may be the prep work you have to do before you get to the point where you're ready to turn your assignment in. So you dump all of the photos from your camera maybe onto your computer, you sort through them, you pick the 20 you like best, and this is where you start this process. I have already picked the 20 I like best. So in this, I'm going to right click, I'm going to paste because I've already got the 20 selected, and the 20 photographs will show up here. Now just to let you know, it is going to be reflected on this side of things too, because this is just a duplicate of this. We're just looking at it two different ways. So I'll hit back on that. So we've got our 20 photographs here. I can change the way I look at them down here and make them so that they are individual pictures. These are photos from one of our now graduates of the program who did a really great job with this photo story, so I'm using his as an example. So I've got my 20 here. These are the 20 that are going to work together to tell my story, or tell the story that this student particularly worked on. Now notice I have changed the name of the photos in this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. This is going to help me keep track of things as I move things around. Your default will probably be some sort of code name, either IMG underscore and then a code number for the pictures. I think it's a good idea to change those around. And the way you do that, either on Mac or PC, is to right-click, then look at the properties, and you can change the name of it that way. Here, this is where I've changed the default to be a number 1, etc. So now on this side, our goal is to whittle down this 20 to 10 that happen to work well together for our photograph. So on this side, I'm going to open up 10. Now if you'll notice, this folder is empty because we haven't put any of these 20 into the 10 yet. Now here is a very crucial lesson that sometimes students will not pay attention to, and this will bring them all sorts of headaches and trouble. What you don't want to do is click and drag. You don't want to decide, you know what, I really want to start with number 3, so I'm going to click and drag number 3. The problem is if you do that, you will click and drag your photos over, and you'll realize they've disappeared from this side. So your package of 10 photos has photo number 3 in it, but photo number 3 has now disappeared from your package of 20. That's a real bummer because then you'll end up with not enough pictures in the 20. Now you've only got 19. So I'm going to undo this. It'll drop 3 back on this side over here. And so what you want to do is, instead of clicking and dragging, you want to copy and paste. So I'm going to right click on photo 3, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to over here right click and paste. You can do Control V or Control V if you feel like it. Now the 3 still exists on this side, it still exists on this side, we have just moved it over. So we're going to say we want a 3, I want photo number 6, so we'll do copy, we'll do 6. I want number 7, so we'll do copy. I'm just going to use the keyboard shortcuts from now on out. Let's say I want that, I want that, that. I'm not being that particular because we're just using this as an example. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we want these last 3. So it'll be 8. It'll be 9. And that'll be 10. So just to make sure, we've got 10 items in this. We've selected the 10 we want from this 20, but the 20 are still intact. So now we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it from the 10 down to the 5. So I'm going to hit back on this. I'm going to hit back on this. I'm going to open the 10 on this side. I'm going to open the 5 on this side. And we're going to do the whole thing again, but we're going to whittle it down from this 10 to the 5 we like best. And we're going to do it in the same way. We're going to copy and paste instead of clicking and dragging. So we're going to copy and paste. I'm just going to do every other for now. You're going to want to be very particular about how you pick and choose, but I'm just doing this as an example. So now we've got the 5 that we want with our 10 still in place over here. And we want to verify that our 5's here. Very good. Back out. We can get rid of this one at this point. We don't need it. It has been very useful for us, but we can let it go. So we'll move this back in the middle. So now we've got our 5, our 10, and our 20. We've got almost everything we need to finalize it. But remember, what do these all need? They need captions. So I have a pre-selected captions folder here. It is labeled captions. As long as it's in your folder, you don't have to put any other special name behind it. All you have to do is click and drag and drop it in your folder and make sure it's there. It does not need to be within any of your specific folders. It can just be within the overall one. And you can have your captions labeled so that they are matching the photographs that they're captioning. More on that in the captioning tutorial. So now that we have, to double check, our captions, our 20, our 10, and our 5, we are ready to zip the file. So zipping is a way of storing a file so that it squishes it down and makes it much easier to send because the file size itself is smaller. And if you don't do this, sometimes you'll find that Canvas will struggle to upload because, especially if you're shooting on a DSLR or a more expensive point-and-shoot camera, the file sizes are really, really big on these pictures. So we're going to X off of this. We've got our folder here hanging out in the middle of our desktop. So we're going to right-click on it. And this is where the difference between a Mac and a PC will come in. On the PC, it is going to be under Send To. And I've always kind of hated that they hide it here. But under Send To, you'll find an option called Compressed Zipped Folder. I'm going to click that, and it's going to take a moment because these are pretty big files. And what this is doing is squishing all of these down into a way that we can send them and save them easier. Now, what it's specifically doing computer-wise, I have no idea. I assume it's some sort of magic, perhaps done by a wizard. Now, you'll notice what it's done is it hasn't squished and compressed this folder. It's made a duplicate copy that is now squished. That looks like this on my computer. It may look slightly different on yours. The icon might. But this is the zipped version. I'm using a piece of software called WinOpener to manage my zip folders. So that's the reason why this will look slightly different. And this folder, which is zipped, it is going to be rileyanything.zip. If I were to look at the properties and look at it, it is a zip folder, which I have the ability to open on my side of things. When you go to Canvas and you go to upload your photo assignments to be graded, you're going to be uploading the zip folder. So it will be your last name _ anything.zip. The Canvas system is set that it will only accept zip folders. You cannot try to upload this. This won't work. You have to upload the zip. And that is so that the file itself is squished down and I can download it on my side of things. Now, like I said, this system where you right-click and you go to actually compress the folder, this is going to be slightly different on a Mac. On this, it will be a thing called, I believe it'll just be called Compress Folder. If you click on that, it'll do the exact same thing. It'll duplicate and give you a zip file. And again, no matter what, when you go to Canvas to upload everything, you want to upload that zipped folder. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck, and I really look forward to seeing your photos.